Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada in the beautiful province of British Columbia. I hope that all of you are having an outstanding weekend so far. Students, in this class, we are looking at an IELTS speaking lesson, specifically focusing on part 3, talking about nature's wisdom. Meaning nature's intelligence, Mother Earth's ability to create life and to create balance, to create ecosystems. This, of course, is connected to part 2 of the speaking section. Part 2 is the cue card. We just had that lesson. It ended 30 minutes ago. The topic was about an idea that you had to protect nature. The IELTS speaking takes about 15 minutes. Part 1, it's some general questions, your hobbies, music, movies. And then part 2, you have to give a short speech, 1 to 2 minutes, on a specific idea or a person, a place, an object, or an event. In this case, we covered the idea of protecting nature. This lesson, everybody, is brought to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, visit us there. For general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that power these live classes. We use these to interact with students. We will use them today to talk with you. Signing up is free, and of course, I highly encourage you to use the premium version of the website. The premium version of the website you can get to by clicking any of the big red buttons that you see on the page here. So this is the big red button after the video finishes, or this is the big red join now button. You can click either one of these to join the premium version of the IELTS package at aehelp.com. We're an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner and IELTS test registration center. For the general IELTS, you can go to gieltshelp.com, where you will see it's a green background, and again with the video at the end there and with the red button here, you can join the premium IELTS package. There's videos, audio CDs, practice exams, interactive course, a study guide. It's all included. It's all one payment. So you're in good hands with us. We'll use this later. You click that join now button and then you're off to the races. You can use your credit card. You can use PayPal, Google Pay. So we've got lots of options there for you to help you get on the right path. Again, you can use the code DO9TY on the website. That will get you an extra 10% discount. You can get the apps, Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help from your app store. You can link that to your web account. And you can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp, GIELTS Help. We've got lots of vocabulary there for you, important strategies. We have the schedule for live classes there as well, so check that out. If you have questions, send me an email. We love questions. Adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. Blink, the amount of time to do the premium version of the course on the website depends on your English level and the level of detail. But there is easily about 200 hours of study materials there, if not more. Okay, so you can spend easily 200 hours with good English on the course. If you want to spend more, you can easily do that. There are over 100 lesson videos alone. Okay, thanks for that question, Blink. All right. Bakram, yes, you're most welcome. I like being very active, as many of you can probably tell. Sarah, welcome, our chat moderator. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing the website in the chat. Absolutely. Fantastic. Students, Amazon has our exam books. You can get hard copies. Although talking about protecting the environment, the topic of today's speaking lessons, I recommend using digital materials as much as possible. As humans, We should be moving away from using paper products as much as possible. There's 8 billion of us, and even though there are trillions of trees, trillions divided by billions is not a lot. Okay, so let's stick to digital as much as we can. That would have been a good answer for part 2, by the way, everyone, as well. An idea to reduce paper products and convert all learning materials in schools to digital format. That would have been a great response for part 2. All right, so we've got a little bit of a break after this class. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no live class, but we have new videos being released on YouTube and on the premium courses. So get that premium course and subscribe to YouTube so you see the HD pre-recorded video lessons that are coming out in the next day or two. And then back on the 16th with speaking part 1, task 2 writing for our YouTube members, a reading lesson for YouTube subscribers, speaking part 2, part 3 next Saturday as well. All right. So lots there for you to consider for next week to continue your learning. And the most recent video that we released on Tuesday, which is an HD speaking practice video, is this one. I've put it into the chat for you also, so you can practice away with that. It's great, by the way. Now we'll get right into IELTS speaking part 3. So IELTS speaking part 3, speak in full sentences, think about explanations and examples. Students, today, let's just jump right into it so we can have as many of you practice as possible and I can give you feedback, okay? I know a lot of you are in these classes regularly, so I will teach you tips and strategies with the answers you give me. The examiner says that is the end of part 2. Let's continue to part 3. For this part, I will ask you a question related to your response and some questions connected to the topic of part 2. Let's talk about recycling and waste. How has waste management changed over the past century? Okay, give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Tip number 1, paraphrase and use the question. Okay. Tip 1, paraphrase and use the question. That means restate the question in your own words and use it in your answer. Okay. Like instead of managing waste or waste management, I can write handling garbage. Okay. Kyo says, whatever floats your boat. That means whatever makes you happy. Kyo, what makes me happy is hearing some awesome English from our viewers. Andrew Foxwell. I love your family name, by the way, Andrew Foxwell. What a great name. Andrew Foxwell says, at the beginning of the 20th century, trash was simply discarded far from populated areas, whereas these days humanity is trying to recycle certain materials such as paper and glass and safely dispose of the rest. There is a huge recycling facility about 10 kilometers from my town that manages waste from the entire region. This simply did not exist 100 years ago. Nice. Now it's a band 9, Andrew. So, Andrew, you had a really good answer, explanation, example. I loved it. I love how you paid attention to all 3 of those. Thumbs up. Just to make it a great answer, I would reflect that original question element here at the end, that this simply did not exist 100 years ago. Got it, Andrew? Yeah? Akira says, thanks, sir, for your feedback. I was able to get 7 from speaking. Thank you. Akira, that's so awesome. Akira, congrats. First of all, a 7 is fantastic. It means you have good English, and that's That's really what everybody should be aiming for, at least, is that 7. Andrew, please send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. I would love to get your testimonial. These days we're trying to collect little selfie testimonials where you do like, hey, I got 7 on the IELTS. Thanks for giving me those tips and strategies. They were super helpful. Something like that. Send me a little video like that. I would love to get that. You can send that to my WhatsApp. I'll give you my WhatsApp when you send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. Okay, Akira? And I'm really happy because I know you were attending these classes regularly, so I'm glad that you got that 7. Okay? All right. Cool. Okay, let's see some other answers here. Anaxon. Let me grab your answer out of the chat here, okay? Anaxon has a response here. There's more than one way to give a band 9 answer, everybody. All right, here's Anaxon's answer to this. There are plenty of modern ways to recycle used materials like paper or glass, which did not exist. Past tense, Anaxon. Did not exist 100 years ago. Some up-to-date factories can be example. That's strange English. Some up-to-date factories can be found near the outskirts of most major cities, and these have been built mostly in the past half century. Okay, an accent, so that's a little bit better. Outskirts means outside of the city. Okay, all right. Harjot, let's have a look. Harjot says it has changed completely because 100 years ago, people did not have bins to put their garbage into, but now they have 3 different types of bins for different kinds of waste, which they can recycle. Sure, like glass, plastic, and paper. Okay, good. I like it. All right. So again, students, remember, use the question, paraphrase it. So handling garbage has changed dramatically over the past 100 years. At the start of the 1900s, most rubbish was disposed of carelessly, simply thrown into the ocean or piled up in a nearby forest. However, these days, specialists design landfills and other recycling centers to minimize the harmful effects of waste in nature. Of course, there are many laws that have been established by governments which did not exist at the turn of the 20th century. In Victoria, the fine for throwing garbage illegally in nature, and we actually call it dumping garbage illegally in nature, is $2,000 to $10,000. Okay, so here's my answer. Nice and long and complete. It's still not over speaking. I'm focusing on the question. So here we go, students. This is speaking. So speak and repeat. I'm teaching you new words, new vocabulary, expressions, idioms that are naturally used in context while doing this. So pay attention to these, underline them, remember them, practice them. So speak and repeat. Okay, here we go. How has waste management changed over the past century? Handling garbage has changed dramatically over the past 100 years. At the start of the 1900s, most rubbish was disposed of carelessly. Simply thrown into the ocean or piled up in a nearby forest. However, these days, specialists design landfills and other recycling centers to minimize the harmful effects of waste in nature. Notice the word landfills, everybody. Landfills are the places where they dig a hole in the ground and pile up the garbage, but of course it's done by engineers and done in very special ways. It's called a landfill. Hopefully it is. Notice this word here, this phrasal verb, piled up. Piled up means to accumulate. Okay. Notice all the different words for waste. Garbage, rubbish. I've used throw away. I've also used disposed of, right? So lots of great vocabulary. Okay, now let's finish it off. Here we go. Of course, there are many laws that have been established by governments which did not exist at the turn of the 20th century. And then here's my example. No for example or for instance or in example, nothing like that. Just giving the example right away. Here we go. In Victoria, the fine for dumping garbage illegally in nature is $2,000 to $10,000. Lakvir, yeah, we've got Task 1 classes on YouTube. We do Task 1 in these live classes, and we've got videos on the YouTube channel. Check them out. We've even got a playlist for it, so check it out. Okay. All right, and then we have answers from Andrew, Anaxon, and Harjot, all which are quite good with a little bit of correction. Okay. And then here's the follow-up question. So speaking part 3 is a conversation. You have to make it feel like a conversation for those high band scores. It can't just be like question and answer, question and answer, question and answer, question and answer. No, it has to feel like a conversation, okay? So make those connections between your ideas, all right? So then the examiner will say something like, or ask something like, how will it change in the future? So of course, still talking about waste management. So here the examiner is basically asking, how will waste management change in the future? What do you think? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. I'm going to do the same. Notice how here we're using the future participle will. I think in the coming decades and centuries, the way humanity deals with rubbish will continue to change in positive ways. With the advancements in technology and growing environmental pressure, like global warming that I mentioned or noted in part 2, humanity will continue to rapidly decrease harmful waste and increase reusing and recycling of products. In fact, I heard there is a new recycling system for electronics. All right. There we go. Here's my answer. Repeat after me. While I'm waiting for your answers, just repeat after me. How will it change in the future? I think in the coming decades and centuries, the way humanity deals with rubbish will continue to change in positive ways. Why? With the advancements in technology and growing environmental pressures like global warming that I noted in part 2, humanity will continue to rapidly decrease harmful waste and increase reusing and recycling of products. In fact, I heard there's a new recycling system for electronics. Awesome. An accent says, if the waste management continues developing at the same pace, it can be easily predicted that air pollution as well as climate change may be avoided. Additionally, people may have opportunities too. An accent, I think you're a bit off topic. Even though the English is good, the answer is not. You need to rethink it. It's not what will happen with the change, it's how will it change, okay? Kyo says, we can only hope for our methods to advance, whether it's the price or the amount of waste produced. Kyo, it's not a bad concept, but you need to clarify what you mean by that. So far, it's a bit confusing. Andrew says, I firmly believe that this trend will continue in the years to come. People will invent new ideas. People will come up with new ideas, Andrew. We don't invent new ideas. We invent new methods, but we don't invent new ideas. That's confusing, okay? To recycle trash and to implement practices that eliminate waste altogether. In Germany, an increasing number of stores stopped selling plastic bags in favor of fabric ones. And of course, here, it is obligatory to separate waste so that it can be easily processed. Good. Andrew, careful with awkward English in a couple places. Pima has an answer for us. Pima says, in my opinion, in this modern era, there are several technologies has increased. Pima, really confusing. I'm not sure if you're talking about now or the future. Modern era is now. It's not the future. So this is wrong. When you use expressions, you have to use them correctly and naturally in context. Otherwise, they are confusing and you lose scores. Okay, so take that out, Pima. In my opinion, there are several technologies that we usually use technology as a singular, but if you use that as a plural, make sure to have the right auxiliary verb. So there are several technologies that have increased to... okay, we're getting really confusing here, Pima. Day by day, so further the day, it will become more advanced and the technology will be established to recycle garbage. I really don't know what that means. I can't even guess it, Pima. So you have to be very, very careful. Okay, there are several technologies that have increased, which will continue to do so in coming years to make waste management more effective and less harmful for nature. Okay, let's correct that completely. Pima, you have to pay attention to making sense. If you're not able to do that with complex sentences, then keep your sentences simple. Students, depending on what you need to get for your IELTS score, you can get a 6.5 using simple sentences, okay? As long as you're using them correctly. If you're using complex sentences incorrectly, you will get lower than a 6.5, all right? So Pima, focus on good, clear, simple communication first. And once you have mastered that, then speak using complex sentences with subordinating conjunctions like therefore, however, since, as a result, on the other hand, and so forth. Okay, so it's the age-old wisdom of learn to walk before you learn to fly, right? If you're trying to fly but you don't know how to walk, it will be a hard landing. You're going to hurt yourself. Okay, so don't do that. Using expressions without purpose will not work. All right. Okay. All right. Will. This question is will. How will it change? If you're not using the future tense for this, you're going to be in trouble. All right. Moy Music Box says, this is not fair, I think. I'm not sure what you mean, Moy Music Box. All right. Alexi says, furthermore, society will change their attitude toward the environment. Alexi, we change our attitude towards a concept, okay? Even nowadays, we already can spot some changes in society and states, ranging from volunteer programs to well-paid jobs connected to protecting nature and managing waste. So, Alexi, future, and remember the topic, it's waste management here we're talking about. Okay, so stay on topic. All right. Yeah, Pima, a few mistakes, but no worries. That's why we're here, is to learn, to correct, to improve. Absolutely. All right. Beautiful people. Let's do this. Let's interact for real. We can do that through the website, and I want to get right into it. I want to speak with as many of you as I can today. I like to leave a maximum amount of time for interactions and more feedback. To volunteer for speaking, go to our website, aehelp.com. Sarah, if you're still with us, if you could put the instructions into the chat, that would be awesome. So aehelp.com, that's our website where you have all your tools, where we have practice exams, videos, audio that power these live classes. Go to your My Student account, log in or create an account, go to the Student Partner Speaking, check your microphone, your speaker, enable it in your browser, have a good connection. You're using audio, video, YouTube all together. You need good internet. It doesn't work if you have a spotty Wi-Fi or a spotty data connection, okay? All right, find me. You're going to see me as soon as I'm in there. You won't see me yet, but you'll see me soon as Master. It's just easy to see, easy to identify. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah's got the instructions for you there, our chat moderator. So let's do this. Here it is, the website, aehelp.com. You can click these red buttons there to make use of the premium package. It's a one-time payment. It's not subscription. We don't believe in that. We don't want you to pay us every month. We just want you to pay once. It's not like IELTS or like other places. We want one payment, not much. Then use it as much as you need, okay? IDP affiliate, British Council partner, IELTS test registration center, certified agents. We're 20 years in the business. You're in a good place. My Student account, computer-based practice exams, online academic course, workbooks, study plans, lesson videos. Click this button here. Student Partner Speaking. Okay. Once you click on that, you are in the chat interface. And we've got lots of people in here. Ro, Rakim, Isulu, Chayani, Mezad Mohammed, and many, many more. You'll see me in here as Master. Click the blue envelope beside my name and just type, hey, I want to try, I want to volunteer, and then we'll get right into it. Let's start from the bottom here. Ro had a good start here at the bottom. Ro says, hello, may I be first? Yes, Ro, you may be. That's awesome, Ro. We're in the same train of thought here. Okay, let me put on my ears. Students, I recommend using a headset. Ro, you are ready. Fantastic. Hello, Ro. Can you hear me? I hear you picked up, but I definitely have no sound from your end. You have to make sure you've enabled all of your audio settings for the website, for the computer, and everything is turned on and you have a good connection, and you're in a country that does not limit chat programs. Some countries do limit them. I know, for example, Turkey just limited Twitter because of the recent events. You said, I can hear you. Ro, that's good. That means we have a connection. So if you can hear me, that's a good first sign. I cannot hear you, which means that it's some part of your microphone or audio setup on your end. Okay, you need to check that. Ro, investigate, try it with another student, see what's going on there, see why I cannot hear you, and then come back. I'll look for you again, okay? I promise you. All right. Don't call me, students. I will call you. Let's reach out to Andrew, one of our regular students. Andrew, are you ready? Very studious. Andrew is. He's in Germany, I believe, right now, but originally from Uzbekistan. Andrew's ready.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
I can, Andrew. Loud and clear. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. So far, so good. I'm enjoying my last week of holidays, and my next semester at university starts on Monday, unfortunately.
Unfortunate. Why, Andrew, that's not good. You should be excited about it. It's your studies. It's what you're into. You gotta.
Well, yeah, it's my studies, but it's the last semester, and the problem is pretty short, and I have to write my thesis as well as to take some classes, so it's going to be a lot of work, probably studying at about 10 hours a day.
Of course, yeah. It's at the same time, it's one of the most rewarding part of life. So when you achieve those studies and you put in that hard work, then you will have some of the greatest gratification that a person gets to experience in their lifetime. So it's challenging, but I promise you that it will be very rewarding. So as the saying goes in English, keep your eyes on the prize.
On the
Okay?
target.
On
The
the
price of target.
on the prize. Keep your eyes on the prize. Okay? And it's also the same for IELTS and for IELTS students. So keep your eyes on the prize. We use prize because it rhymes, Andrew. Keep your eyes
Yeah,
on the
makes
prize.
sense.
Right? Okay. So good. And you've enjoyed your holidays thus far?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The weather has been kind of terrible, but I had a lot of fun with my friends and family.
Awesome. Happy to hear it. Okay, well, let's get into some IELTS Part 3 questions. Here we go. Let's talk about recycling and waste. How has waste management changed over the past century?
Well, at the turn of the 20th century, waste was simply discarded at a nearby forest, whereas these days humanity is trying to find more intelligent ways to dispose of it. For instance, some materials such as plastic and glass can be used a second time, whereas other materials like wood are often burned in the most efficient way not to harm the environment.
How will it change in the future?
I think this trend will persist in the years to come. Plus, I'm pretty sure that scientists will come up with new ideas how to dispose of the trash or maybe implement completely different schemes to eliminate trash altogether. The roots of this notion has already been implemented, I believe, in Germany, for instance. Many stores are getting rid of plastic bags in favor of
Some
paper ones.
people neglect to recycle their rubbish as they should. What can be done to discourage this behavior?
I think governments should introduce heavy fines for those who think they are above the law when it comes to managing waste. The fines can be as high as $10,000, and especially in the case of recidivism, people need to be taught to avoid this at all costs. I believe in countries like France and the Netherlands, uh, it can be actually a criminal offense to dispose of the trash near the nature landmarks.
Okay, good. We'll stop there. That's fantastic. Andrew, you're starting to master that band 9 level communication, which is awesome to hear. So, of course, it's not just based in your English and your choice of words, but also it comes across from your content. So, what you're giving as your answers and your confidence. We had that interruption of that call. And Prajal, please don't call. So students don't call while we're in discussion. That shouldn't work like that anyway. We'll refresh here in a second. But anyway, and you didn't get distracted by that, Andrew, which is awesome. So you're able to really...
Honestly, I didn't hear that because I muted YouTube, so it was totally fine.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I was really impressed. I'm like, wow, that didn't even distract you. You just kept going like that. It distracted me a little bit, but that's okay. So overall, there were basically no mistakes. So I could not identify any mistakes with your grammar or your language use. And in fact, I was very impressed with your choice of words. So not much to critique there. Not much to critique there, Andrew. That's about as good as it gets for answers. If I wanted to be hypercritical, I would say be cautious with giving an overly elaborate example. So keep your examples short, because some examiners will interrupt you if they feel like you're talking a bit too much. So I would maybe keep the examples a little bit more concise, but it's subjective. So overall, very, very good. Okay, I like it. Keep going that way. When are you doing your IELTS exam again, Andrew? I think I asked you this before.
On March 11th. So I still have I have exactly a month before my exam, and I already booked a place, a hotel, the tickets. So I'm ready to go.
You are ready to go, and you'll do just fantastic when you're there. I'll be looking forward to seeing what you get and how you come out of that. All right, Andrew, until then, keep it up. Keep practicing different topics. One important tip, Andrew, that I can give you and to other people who are at your level, like for example Dewey and some other viewers who know that they have good English, is really focus your studies on the difficult parts of IELTS. So focus on part 2, focus on practicing talking about people, places, objects, ideas, and events. Don't worry too much about part 1. I would almost completely ignore it in your case, because I think you'll have no problems there. And then focus, of course, on part 3 questions. So focus on those more challenging elements. Don't even bother with the easier parts of the test, okay?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. We're studying with Bogdan. I think you've spoken to him a couple of times every day at 11 a.m. We have a speaking practice, and then if I have time, we'll also go to writing and reading.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. That's excellent. You're on the right track. All right, Andrew, I'm happy to hear it, and I look forward to some more of your outstanding communication in the weeks to come. Have an awesome rest of the weekend,
sir.
And a good start to the new semester. Bye for now.
Yes, absolutely. Bye.
All right. Okay, students, I'm just doing a refresh on my page here. I think there was just a lot of students in there, so you're going to have to message me again here. Andrew, if you're still there, hang up for sure, because I couldn't do it on my end, or maybe I just did. And then just send me a notification again, okay? Chayani, you've been very patient this week. I appreciate that. I'm going to reach out to you. Are you ready? Okay, so here we go. Chayani, if you're there, let me know. You were the first one to refresh and get a hold of me. Yeah, sometimes students, when you're using, of course, the internet, the websites, if it gets hairy, a little bit overused, then you might just need to do a quick refresh. Okay, all right. Chayani.
So Adrian.
Hi, Yanni. How are you?
Yeah, quite kinda, because this week is kind of like made me feeling down.
You're feeling down this week?
Yeah, maybe because I'm gonna getting older this month also.
You have a birthday coming up?
Yeah, in the next week.
Okay, well, happy early birthday. Don't be down about getting older. Age also comes with wisdom, and that's an amazing part of life.
Okay,
So
thank you, sir.
you should never be down. Be excited. That's so sad. You should be excited about your birthday. All right, Yanni. Well, I hope you have an awesome birthday. Are you ready for a few questions?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, then let's continue talking a little bit about recycling and waste. Some people neglect to recycle their rubbish as they should. What can be done to discourage this behavior?
Well, as I discussed in the latest part of the speaking, maybe several of the communities of group can make the event for reducing the waste. So, what I mentioned, like making of the bicycle marathon that can reduce the pollution of the air, especially can encourage the environment going be recovered, so it can make the destruction of the nature such as for flora and fauna.
Why is this important?
Well, as I mentioned before, it can reduce the destruction of the nature, so flora and fauna can keep safe, and also can maintain each people health. So from the bike marathon, it can also reduce the amount population of the car and motorcycle, and also reduce the pollution, especially reduce the carbon dioxide that the result of the is transportation, and also can maintain the respiration of the each human. I mean,
Which behaviors should be encouraged in current and future generations to reduce waste and safeguard the environment?
let me think for a while. Definitely, recycling the waste is also the crucial activities that important for the future generation. So it's not based because not only for volunteer. Maybe volunteer is can encourage to people to recycle more amount of the waste that scatter around the city street. Um, and also can make an impact for the young generation. So it's going to be continuously in the next century, in my opinion.
How can this be done?
Well, like providing, because due to the technology still developing, providing recycle machine is also necessary for citizen to encourage them recycling many of waste, so it can reduce loss of the pile of the rubbish that scattered around the city street.
Okay, we'll stop there for a second. All right, Yanni, great. I love your fluency. So you're very, very fluent, and you have some good ideas. Where you're losing marks is your choice of words, grammar, and your connections. Overall, what you're saying is understandable. I can understand it, so I get the main idea. But it sounds slightly unnatural and somewhat riddled with mistakes. So what I recommend for you, I'm not sure if I've said it to you like this before, but I definitely recommend slowing down a bit. Like you're actually on the faster side of speaking, even for natural native English. Okay, so people have a different range of speed when they speak. Some native English speakers like to be methodical and speak a bit slower, and it's still natural because they're expressing their ideas and connecting their thoughts well, but it's slow speech. Others like to talk really fast like this and give all of their ideas as quickly as possible so that they can move on to the next possible concept. Okay, so there's quite a range between slow and very fast. You're, I would say, like 20% faster than the average. So you can sacrifice quite a bit of speed for more accuracy with your word choice. Okay. Like, I'll give you a good example, Yanni. Like when you said, let me think for a while. Okay. So, and you'll get why I'm chuckling. So I said, which behaviors should be encouraged in current and future generations to reduce waste and safeguard the environment? And you said, let me think for a while, definitely recycling. And I'm like, Wow, your definition of thinking for a while is very different than mine. you literally, you literally just like jumped right into your answer after you said that. I'm like, did I just time warp there? Did Chayani really take a second? So, when you say, let me think for a second or let me think for a while, actually think for a second, right? And even if you have the idea, think about the grammar of the language, right? So it's kind of weird if you say, let me think for a second. Well, the reason that people, it's like, whoa, okay. So slow it down, okay? Slow it down, more attention to grammar, okay? So, for example, this sentence here, maybe volunteer is encouraged to recycle. I know what you were trying to say there, but it should be a little bit different. It should be like this. So maybe in the future, more people should volunteer to encourage others in society for recycling and reducing waste. Can you try that? And can you just focus on saying it slowly? I'll say it one more time. So maybe in future generations, more people should be encouraged to volunteer to help with recycling and manage waste.
So maybe in the future, people should encourage to volunteer some of the activities that encourage sorry.
Okay, right? So you really have to, so I think sometimes your tongue is getting ahead of your thoughts, okay? So one more time. So maybe in future generations, there should be more volunteering to encourage better recycling and better waste management than we have today.
Maybe in the future generation should encourage about volunteer to recycling for the sake good environment.
Okay, better, still some grammatical mistakes, but better, okay? So slow it down, increase accuracy, that will increase your overall score. Okay, Yanni?
Okay, sir. Yeah,
right.
Maybe, I was too excited.
It's good to be excited, but you want to control that excitement, right? So, all right,
Okay.
Yanni, we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.
Okay, thank you. See you. Take care.
All right, that was Yanni. Some nice answers, but you want to control you want to balance your speed and your accuracy. That's the tricky part of getting those high band scores, is a good balance between speed and accuracy. And you can slow down the speed also by increasing intonation. So really just going up with your words, down with your words, emphasizing and being more accurate. Okay, right above Chayani, we have Himanshu. Himanshu, yes, you can absolutely try. Are you ready? Okay, thanks for the thumbs up, everybody, for Yanni. I hope Andrew got some thumbs up there as well. He definitely deserved it. There were some great answers there. Anaxon, love the thumbs up. And I think it's hand washing, but I think it's maybe a clap. I don't know. All right. So let's see. Himanshu, if you're still with us, give me a sign. We'll give you a 5 count. 5, 4, 3. Yes, you are. Hello, Himanshu. I don't hear anything from your side. Can you hear me? Again, students, always check your system, right? So we've got a lot of us in here. It's pretty heavy on the chat interface, but it's all good. It should work as long as you check your system. You do need a good internet connection to connect, okay? All right. Himanshu, check your system and we'll circle back. Okay. Raquea, you've been very patient. I'll give you a shot. Are you ready? Raquea, one of our regular students. I'm looking for new and returning students. Okay. Himanshu, I see that you're contacting me again there. I'll circle back to you in a moment. Okay. Raquea.
Hello.
Hi, Raquea. How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm good. I love how you're usually great. When I ask you, you're like, I'm great. It's a good way to be. You're like, I'm great. All right. Raquea, let's jump right into it. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. Let's talk about nature's wisdom. If people continue to abuse the environment, what will be the consequences?
I think its consequences will be very dangerous, global warming will be high, and also the polar ice will be melting, so the natures will be ruined, there is no weather confirming, too hot and too cold, and also it's affect humans as well as animals life, so it is very dangerous for the human beings.
What are the warning signs of such consequences that we can observe today?
The warning signs are like global warming, and also the uh, health problems like skin cancer because of the global warming, and also there is lots of new diseases like skin cancer, and also diabetes. There is lots of air pollution and also soil erosion, so these are the signs, they denote the
Some people believe that it
global
is
warming.
too late for people to reverse the damage already done to the planet. Do you agree with this? Why or why not?
I am not agree. I do not agree with this because I think it can be saved by now, because if we can step out about planting trees, and also uh, not wasting too much, and also renewable energies we use, then it is good to save our environment, and also save the life on earth.
Okay, good job, Raquea. All right. First of all, Raquea, band score, 6 to 6.5, no problem. Okay, I think 6.5
Okay.
is 6.5 is more accurate. More examiners would give you a 6.5 for that. With some adjustment to your grammar, no repetition, so avoid repetition, a little bit more coherent answers, you will easily be on your way to a 7.5, okay? Let me reflect a little bit specifically on your answers. There were a couple of strategies that you did really well. For example, when I asked you this question, what are the warning signs? You said the warning signs are very good. You used a part of the question to give you some time to think and to focus on an accurate answer. It's a very good strategy to do that, to use the question in your answers. And you can do that often, okay? So you said like global warming and also the health problems like skin cancer. Okay, that was good. Until then, you had a good answer. However, after that part, you started to repeat yourself. You said because of global warming. You already said global warming here. And then you said there are new
Yes.
diseases like skin cancer, but you already said skin cancer. So the examiner will interrupt you here. Okay. So you need to think of other answers. And if you need time, you can ask for time even in mid answer. So you can say health problems like skin cancer and also some other problems. Let me think for a second. Well, I suppose changing weather patterns, which lead to food shortage, like lots of droughts in India, or too much rain with floods. And so farm fields are being destroyed. Okay, so you can think about it in mid-sentence as well. Don't repeat yourself. As soon as you start repeating yourself, you start to lose marks and you get interrupted. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So
Yes.
pay attention to that. This was a good correction here in the next question. So I said some people believe that it is too late for people to reverse the damage already done. Do you agree with this? You said, I am not agree. And then you corrected. You realized that's not good English. So you said, I do not agree with this. That was a good correction. Self-correction will save you marks. So if anybody is out there and you self-correct, it's good to do that. If you know you made a mistake, correct yourself, okay? So Rakwea, you did really good there, okay? All right.
Okay.
I think it can be saved by now because if we can step out by planting trees, some really shoddy grammar there, Rakwea, so you need to be careful about that, okay? So
Okay.
record yourself and fix it, okay? So I think the planet can be saved if everybody plants a tree and does not waste too much. Can you repeat after me? I think the planet can be saved if everybody plants a tree and does not waste too much garbage or does not waste too much. Try it.
I think it can be saved by everybody plant a tree and not waste too much garbage.
Okay, yeah, and let's take the garbage out. That's awkward, but not waste too much. Okay, much better. So, Rakwea, I think that you're on this like verge, on this edge of changing your English into a much more accurate English. Just really keep focusing on accurate English, accurate English. Lots of reading, okay? Lots of reading aloud to get that going in your thoughts, okay?
Okay.
All right, Rakwea, thank you for volunteering. It was lovely to speak with you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. All right, such a pleasure to speak with Rakwea. She's always in such a great mood when she joins these interactions. So thumbs up, Rakwea, fantastic, okay? Self-correction, students, very important at home when you're practicing and even during the real IELTS exam, okay? All right. Himanshu, I told you I'd circle back to you. Let's try again. Are you ready to try again? Did you test with another person? Another try? Yes? Himanshu, shall we give it a go? For some students, you might need to use a VPN. Okay, some places where you're using the internet in the world, unfortunately, they limit them. They block your ability to communicate through government level security infrastructure, which is unfortunate. But you might need to use a VPN. Himanshu, we can give it another go if you're ready. Hopefully, we can make a better connection. All right, here we go. Let me try you again, okay? Himanshu, you picked up. I hear that you picked up, but I still don't hear your voice. By the way, students, if you're using a wireless headset, you might also want to check your batteries. I know it sounds funny, but sometimes that can be the issue. Himanshu, test it with other people in here. Try a few different setups, communicate with them, find out what works and what doesn't. Okay, we'll talk again soon. All right, let's see. I think we had somebody else here who I promised I'd try again. It started with an R. I remember their name, but I can't see the person in here right now. So maybe another time. Padam. Let's take somebody from the bottom here. Padam, are you ready? Just because you're lower down in the list doesn't mean you can't get a chance. This time it's Padam that's down here, about number 20 something in the list. Padam, if you're with me. I think you tried to call me earlier too. Students, don't try to call me. Then it turns into a zoo. It's better if I call you. So Padam, if you're there, give me a sign. Let me know that you are there. Hang in there, students. Patience is a virtue. And learn from each other. I sometimes get the feeling that if a person feels like I'm not talking to them, then they don't want to listen to anybody else. And it's like, whoa. All right. I don't know what that sound was. Okay. Padam. I am doing great. I hear you, but you sound like you're calling me from another village.
Thank you so much, sir.
You want to, can you get a little bit closer to your microphone? Turn up the volume.
Okay, see you, sir.
Yell if you have to. I hear you, but I can hardly hear you.
Okay, sorry, sir. I think there is some problem in my mic. Am I audible now?
Better. Yeah, I think we can work with it. It's good. All right, Padam, where are you?
Yes, sir. I am from Nepal, Kathmandu.
From Kathmandu. I've said this
Yes,
before, but I say it again. I think it's one of the best names any city in the world has. It's like, where are you from? I'm from Kathmandu. I like the name of my city, Victoria. It's cool. It's like victory winning, but it's not as good as Kathmandu. I'm from Kathmandu. I don't know. I just love it. All right. And why are you taking the IELTS?
Sir, I was planning for there Toronto. I planned for uh, master in environmental science.
Oh,
So I need IELTS.
okay. Master's in environmental science. So this is your topic. If you got this on the IELTS exam, you'd be like, oh, thank you. Right?
Yes, sir. So I need your help, sir.
Hopefully it happens for you. All right. You probably know more English about this than I do. All right. Padam, here we go. Let me ask you a few questions then. Are you ready?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So let's talk about recycling and waste. How has waste management changed over the past century?
Okay, that's a bit confusing question, sir. I think the way the waste management has been changed in a different way because due to the advancement in the technology, previously people used to just dump the waste near to some dumping areas, but nowadays due to the engineered landfill sites, people like to collect within a municipal truck and they just dump in that site. So the way people do different things with that waste is also has been changed because nowadays due to the different technologies, yeah, people like to make fertilizer from the waste also, which I think that has not been practiced in the previous days.
How will it change in the future?
Okay, obviously, sir, as I have already mentioned that the technology has been changing and it will be on future also. So I think there will be a lot of technologies, a lot of inventions that will uh, you know, make easy mm, uh, for recycling the waste that can be converted to different you know, different substances or different other fertilizers that can be used to different other purposes also.
Let's talk about nature's wisdom. If people continue to abuse the environment, what will be the consequences?
Yes, if people continue wasting time and throwing waste everywhere surrounding the nature, so I think there will be drastic change within the nature because uh, the earth has a limited carrying capacity for waste or any other things. So it will obviously change the chemical and the physical composition of the soil, and that will cause mm, that will cause to degrade the ecosystem and integrity of the ecosystem.
Okay, I'm going to stop there.
Thank you, sir. This is my first time, so I think I'm a bit nervous.
Yeah, I could tell, and you still did very well. So give me 1 second and I'll reflect. Okay, sorry. So you would get a 7 for that, okay? Sorry. So you'd get a 7, which is good English for that. But I actually think that if you're not nervous, once you practice a bit and you get a good idea of what you're doing, I think that you'll get as high as maybe even a band 8 potentially. So I think your actual English level is closer to a band 8 than even a band 7. I think that some of the mistakes that you're making, especially at in the first half of your answer, is because you're nervous. So I can tell that your brain is really pushing past that anxiety to create clear sentences. And by the time you get going in the second half there, you definitely sound a lot more academic in your speaking. I'm sure all of our viewers can see it as well. So like here I said, if people continue to abuse the environment, you said yes. If people continue wasting time, you did a good job using the conditional, if people continue. So that was good. The wasting time was a little bit like, oh, where are you going with that? And then I there was a little part there that I couldn't clearly understand. I'm not sure if it was the pronunciation or what, but it wasn't perfectly clear for me. But then as you got going, you really made this improvement from like a band 5.56. You improved your answer all the way to like a band 7, even a 7.5. So as your examiner, I just kind of felt, okay, you started a 6, but then you're able to show me 7.5, so I'll give you a 7. Okay. Because you said that will change the chemical and physical composition of the soil. This phrase is clearly good English. This is the type of English that you would use in your major in university. And that's what we would expect. So telling me that, the consequence of abusing the environment is changing the chemical and physical composition of the soil, which leads to negative effects for animals and plants. It's very good content and very good English. You had the same here. Where I asked you the very first question, how has waste management changed over the past century? And you said, oh, that's a bit confusing question. And I was like, really? Well, why? It was kind of an awkward start. And then you said, I think the waste management has been changed in a different way. That's not natural. So I think waste management has changed in positive ways. That would be natural. Can you repeat that sentence? Repetition, by the way, everybody, is for everyone. So just repeat this after me, okay? I think waste management has changed in positive ways.
I think waste management has been changed in positive way.
Okay, so my tip to you is start a bit slower, catch your breath, really focus on being accurate, and then you can really push your band score nice and high, because what you say after is very good English. You said, nowadays, due to the engineered landfill sites, municipal garbage trucks. That's really good English. Okay, that's very good English. I love how you said not just garbage trucks, but you said municipal garbage trucks. Very nice use of modifiers, adjectives. So keep coming back, keep practicing so you build up your confidence. Show up to your exam at least an hour early and talk to other people who are there waiting for their exam so that you can build your confidence before you meet the examiner, okay?
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Keep it up, and we'll see you again, Padam, okay?
Yes, see you, sir.
Okay,
Thank
bye
you
for
so
now.
much, sir.
You're welcome. Bye. All right, that was Padam. Padam, very good English, right? So Padam is a perfect example of why you want to make sure that you go into your exam confidently, because there are so many candidates who, when they're nervous, speak at a band 5.5 or 6, but when they gain confidence, suddenly the vocabulary starts to come to mind, suddenly their fluency, their grammar starts to clear up, and they go from that 5.5 all the way up to a 7.5, right? So confidence is a big, big part of it. Thumbs up for Padam. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Makrand. I don't think we had a chance to speak yet today. Makrand, are you ready? One of our members. I was trying to coax you into volunteering in part 2, but I didn't see you there, Makrand, so I'm happy that you're volunteering now. Makrand says yes. All right.
Hello.
Hi, Makrand.
Hello, am I audible today?
You are. Good to hear your voice, Makrand. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you, Adrian?
I'm doing pretty good. Fantastic. I missed you volunteering in the last class. What happened?
I did actually text you. I think I did not reach you or something like that.
Ah,
I was
okay.
there the entire session.
All right. What was your plan? What was your thought? What kind of an idea did you want to talk about?
Oh, I had the beach cleanup idea only. The beach cleanup program.
The beach cleanup program. Okay. I mean, that's a great idea, right? So good.
Yeah.
All right. Makrand, keep that idea in mind as I ask you some of these part 3 questions. Are you ready?
Sure. Yes, definitely.
Okay. So let's talk about recycling waste. Some people neglect to recycle their rubbish as they should. What can be done to discourage this behavior?
The most important and common mistake which people do, they do not separate their waste at home themselves. For example, like separating dry waste and wet waste differently so that the waste is properly decomposed in the future by the municipal authorities. And for disregarding this behavior, some strict government actions can be taken against the citizens, or else some laws could be implied wherein the waste is automatically separated. And it is important because if the waste is not separated, it may lead to further problems into the soil while it is being decomposed.
Let's talk about nature's wisdom. If people continue to abuse the environment, what will be the consequences?
If people still continue to abuse the environmental resources, I think after a certain point of time, the natural resources might go extinct, which will be very harmful, as in we all are aware about all the nature's abundance resources which we have. It might go extinct, and for example, we get oils and raw materials for our food and our living beings. So it will be very difficult for all of us to survive if the abuse is still on. And to improvise such situations, I definitely believe that governments could imply some strict actions against the citizens and could enforce new laws.
Okay. Makran, I'm going to stop there and just reflect.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
was a solid 7.5, 7 to 7.5.
Okay.
It's between good and very good. You have
Okay.
some good ideas. You make a few awkward mistakes with content and with grammar here
Okay.
and there. Okay. Let me
Okay.
jump back to the first question. You're very fluent, so it's kind of the same advice as I gave to Yanni. You might want to just slow down a little bit and pay more attention to what you're saying and how you're saying it, okay? And just a little bit
Okay.
slower, all right? So I asked you this question here. Some people neglect to recycle their rubbish as they should. What can be done? And you said, well, the most important mistake that people do is that they do not separate their waste at home, dry and wet waste. That was really good. Okay, so you basically introduced what the actual problem of recycling is by not separating it. And then you said to disregard this behavior. Disregard is not the same as discourage. Okay.
Okay.
So there are some other ways to say it, but if you can't come up with a synonym, then just use the same word. Okay. So to
Okay.
discourage. Okay. A simple paraphrase here would be to decrease. Okay.
Mhm.
To decrease this behavior in society. In society, some action can be taken. So really be careful of your word choice, because sometimes you're choosing a word that's close to correct, but not quite. And it's like, that's when, to the native ear, it's like, okay, I get what you're saying, but I think this is what you actually wanted to say, right? And you want to avoid that situation. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So careful. And you can do that by slowing down a little bit. Then I asked you, if people continue to abuse the environment, what will be the consequences? And again, you were very smart to use the condition. You said, if people should continue to abuse environmental resources. That was good. Okay. The natural resources will go extinct. We say extinct for animals and plants, but to say natural resources will go extinct is a little bit awkward because it includes oil, water, minerals, and it's awkward to say. It's not quite the right verb to say
Okay.
extinct. What do you think would be the better verb instead of extinct?
Deplete some maybe.
Yeah, you read my mind. I was thinking there's lots of ways to say it, but that's exactly what I was thinking of. Will be depleted. So you have really good vocabulary. You just have to do a lot of speaking so that you find the right words, right? So repeat after me. If people should continue to abuse the environment, natural resources will be depleted, and this will make survival extremely difficult, if not impossible.
if people should continue to abuse environmental resources, the natural resources will be depleted and the survival will become crucial, difficult.
Right? Slow it down. And survival will become difficult, if not impossible.
And survival will become difficult and not impossible.
If not impossible.
If not impossible.
I know it's a tricky one. That's why I'm teaching you some new phrasing there. So depleted and survival will become difficult, if not impossible. It's a common expression. Problematic, if not impossible, or difficult, if not impossible.
Got it.
Okay. All right. Okay, so a little bit slower, find the right word, practice it. One really good practice at home is record yourself when you're answering these questions, listen back and really pay attention to your verbs and nouns and think, okay, is that the best verb or noun? Maybe there's a better one. And then as soon as you find it, then say it again with that corrected noun or verb, okay?
Definitely. Actually, I had one question.
Go for it, Makran.
Yeah, I do believe that I speak very faster. So how do I like cut down on that? And secondly, like I know I have the vocab, but like when I'm speaking, I get like nervous and like all the mix of ideas happens and I do not know what to speak. So I just randomly go with the words which come in my mouth and just keep on speaking.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, right? So the way you do that is you self-critique. And I do this when I'm teaching these lessons. Sometimes I realize I'm talking too fast because, you know, I'm talking to people with many different abilities during these live classes. And so when I'm talking with someone like you, or for example, someone like Andrew or Dewey, who are obviously very fluent, it makes me speak faster as well. So we influence each other's speaking, right?
Yes.
What we need to do is we need to always kind of stop and check, right? Like, am I speaking too fast right now? Is my audience able to keep up with what I'm saying? Am I speaking so quickly that I'm not choosing the right word? I'm not making much sense. Then I slow down a bit and take more pauses. So you just have to always reflect and force yourself. It's like forcing yourself to hit the brakes when you're driving on the highway and you suddenly realize you're doing 150 and you're like, well, it's too fast. I got to slow down, right? So you hit the brakes. So you have to have that awareness, and you have to always have that awareness there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Adrian.
Okay, and you did that, Makran. So as soon as we started talking about it, I felt like, oh, okay, and you started to slow down a bit, and it started to make more sense. So just keep doing that, okay?
Yes,
right.
Definitely.
Okay, Makran, have a great rest of your weekend.
Same to you. Thank you, Adrian.
Bye. All right, that was Makran. Let's give a thumbs up. Andrew says no time to slow down. Life is too short. Yes, that's true. However, there is another saying that slow and steady wins the race, right? Slow and steady wins the race. So being methodical is extremely important for good communication. Students, I am going to wrap it up there for us. I think there was just a lot of great interaction and a lot of good examples there for everybody. But I am back on Thursday with Speaking Part 1. And until then, practice with each other. Continue to log into the website and continue to open up the Student Partner Speaking. Keep that page open, okay? So that people can ping you, refresh it every now and then. The internet is funny that way. So when you have a page open, it's a good idea to hit the refresh every 10, 15 minutes and interact with each other. It was great to hear that, for example, Andrew has found a study partner to speak with. And I know a lot of our other members have. I strongly encourage that. I strongly encourage you to practice with each other. It's fantastic. It's like-minded people with the same goals, all studying for IELTS, all right there in your student partner speaking. Okay. Use the rest of the course. Use the computer-based practice exams, the interactive course. Check out the strategies. Watch the videos. Use the audio CDs. It's all there for you. And for those of you who see this red button that's right there, you can even register for the new home-based version of the IELTS exam right through the website. I think there's like 12 or 14 countries now that have it. Okay. All right, students, aehelp.com. That's the website that we're using for academic IELTS. For general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. Click these big red buttons when you come to these websites to engage the premium IELTS. Okay. Thank you, Sarah, for moderating the classes today. That was really helpful. I appreciate that. I hope you're having a great weekend in Marseille. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I look forward to next week. We're going to have writing. We're going to have reading. We're going to have more speaking. So lots and lots of help coming for you. One last time, the website's ahelp.com, gieltshelp.com. Okay. All right. Mohammed, I'm glad that you found it useful even though you didn't get a chance to interact. And students, I'm always checking the chat, seeing who's doing what and staying optimistic. Mohammed, I'll be looking for you on Monday. Remind me in the chat that I said that, and you'll be at the top of my list for volunteers. Okay? All right. Okay, everybody. Have an awesome rest of your weekend. You're all beautiful people. Chin up, forward, stay positive, spread positive vibes, and I look forward to seeing you back here with me next week. Bye for now, everybody.